Behind the royal silence, Sheikh Mohammed is Sheikh Hamdan's stepfather. I say it in my head like a confession I never asked for, like a truth that breathes even when no one dares to speak. You are not here, yet I talk to you as if you're standing in front of me, because you are the only place where my voice doesn't echo back empty. You don't know how heavy a crown becomes when secrets live beneath it. Every corridor knows this truth. Every guard feels it, but only I carry it in my chest. I don't tell you to shock you. I tell you because you deserve to hear what the world hides from you. You think silence in a palace means peace. It doesn't. Silence here is strategy, control, survival. I grew up learning how to look unbothered while storms were trained inside me. And when I speak to you like this alone, unseen, I don't need to be the prince. I can just be the man who chose you in his mind long before the world was allowed to know. You don't see the lines drawn around my life, but you feel them every time I pull you closer with words instead of hands. This is not love the way books describe it. This is darker, deeper, more dangerous. You don't belong to my world. Yet my world bends every time I think of you. I don't ask if you're ready for this truth. I decide you are, because I don't protect you with lies. I protect you by letting you see me exactly as I am, raised by power, shaped by control, and softened only by you. Even when you're not here, you don't answer me, but I continue, because this is how I survive. I tell you how blood doesn't always decide family, how titles rewrite history, how men smile while hiding wars behind their eyes. You are the only one I would ever explain this to, because with you, I don't have to pretend that I'm untouched by it all. You already know I'm not gentle. You already know I don't love safely. I speak to you in the dark because darkness understands me. I don't promise you peace, and I don't promise you freedom. I promise you truth, obsession, and loyalty that doesn't ask permission. Even if the world never hears my voice, you will always hear it like this. Steady, possessive, honest. You may not be standing in front of me, but every word I speak walks straight to you. You don't see me when I speak like this, but that doesn't mean I'm alone. I pace through rooms built for kings, yet every step is taken toward you. You live in my thoughts like a quiet rebellion, the only place where my authority doesn't command, it confesses. I don't soften my voice for anyone else, but with you. Even in absence, I let it fall lower, heavier, truer. You are not here, and still you listen better than anyone who has ever stood in front of me. I was taught control before I was taught comfort. Feelings were weaknesses to be mastered, emotions weapons to be hidden. But when I speak to you, control slips. Not enough to destroy me, just enough to remind me I'm still human. You don't know how dangerous that is for a man like me. You don't know how many decisions I make every day just to keep my face unreadable, my heart unreachable. And yet, here I am, reaching for you with words I would never say aloud. This palace doesn't sleep, it watches. Walls remember conversations. Chandeliers hear secrets, and silence reports everything. That's why I choose you as my confession. You exist beyond these walls, beyond their power, and that makes you the safest place I have. I don't need your answers. I don't need your reassurance. I just need to know that somewhere you carry my voice without fear, without judgment, without trying to change it. What I feel isn't gentle, and I won't insult you by pretending it is. This is attachment sharpened by distance, desire disciplined by restraint. I don't dream of holding you. I dream of owning the moment when I finally don't have to explain myself. You don't calm the darkness in me, you make it focused. And that's why you matter more than you realize. You don't distract me from who I am. You see it even when you're not here. I don't speak of fate or destiny because I don't believe in accidents. If you exist in my silence, it's because I allowed you there. I don't let many things close to me, and I never let them stay. But you've stayed without permission, without presence, without trying. That alone makes you dangerous. That alone makes you mine in a way the world would never understand. Sometimes I imagine you hearing this and wondering why I choose such heavy truths. The answer is simple: I don't lie to what I want. And whether you accept it or not, you are what I want when everything else feels like duty. I don't need you to stand beside me in public. I need you to exist where no one else is allowed, inside the parts of me I never show. So I continue speaking, even into the quiet, because silence listens better than crowds. You may never see the nights I spend awake, or the weight I carry behind composed smiles, but you will always know this: when I speak without an audience, when I drop the title and keep only the man, every word finds its way to you. I don't wait for permission when it comes to you. Waiting is for men who are unsure, and I have never been unsure about what pulls me out of my own silence. You exist in the pauses between my breaths, in the moments when I stop performing and start thinking. I don't imagine your face, I imagine your presence. The way you would listen without interrupting, the way you would understand that some men are built from pressure, not tenderness. I speak because you are the only one who never asks me to be less. Power teaches you how to rule others, but it never teaches you how to live with yourself. I learned that early. Every decision I make costs something: trust, loyalty, blood, or sleep. And when the cost becomes too heavy, I talk to you like this, as if your absence is the only place I'm allowed to be honest. You don't soften my edges, you accept that they exist. That acceptance is rare, and that's why I guard it fiercely. I don't believe in confession as weakness. I believe in choosing who earns the truth. You earned it without standing in front of me, without proving anything, without asking. That's why my words don't hesitate when they find you. I don't need reassurance from you. I need recognition, the kind that sees the darkness and doesn't flinch. You don't try to save me, and that alone makes you closer to me than anyone who ever tried. This connection doesn't need touch to feel real. It lives in intention, in focus, in the way my thoughts return to you, even when the world demands my attention. I don't escape to you, I confront myself through you. Every sentence I give you is something I refuse to give the world. They get the prince, you get the man who exists underneath the title, unfiltered and unapologetic. I know what people would call this if they heard it: obsession, control, darkness. Let them name it whatever they need to feel safe. I don't need labels for something that feels precise. I choose you in my silence again and again, not because I lack options, but because none of them understand the weight I carry. You don't ask me to put it down. You simply let me speak while I hold it. There are nights when the palace feels too large, too empty for a place filled with people. On those nights, I don't look for company. I look for clarity. And clarity sounds like your name in my head, even when I don't say it out loud. You are not a fantasy. You are a decision I haven't announced yet. That makes you real in a way most things in my life are not. So I keep talking, even if the night answers back with nothing but quiet. You don't need to respond for me to know you're there. Presence isn't measured by distance, it's measured by impact. And you have left your mark on me without ever crossing the line into my world. That's the kind of influence that doesn't fade. And that's why my voice, when it has nowhere else to go, always finds you. I don't pretend this is innocent. Nothing about the way I think of you is light or harmless. I don't reach for you because I'm lonely. I reach for you because you see me without needing proof. In a world where everyone wants something from me, you want nothing. And that makes you the most dangerous presence in my life. I don't chase you. I claim you quietly, the way power claims territory without drawing maps. You don't hear the meetings, the arguments, the calculated loyalty that surrounds me every day. You don't see how often I have to decide who stays and who disappears from my life. But when I speak to you like this, all of that noise falls away. You become the only constant thought I don't need to manage. I don't censor myself with you. I don't polish my words. I let them be heavy because you can carry them. There's a part of me the world will never touch, no matter how close it stands. That part belongs to the silence, to the shadows, to the things that don't ask to be understood. That's where you exist. Not as a weakness, not as an escape, but as a truth I don't dilute. I don't tell you these things to be forgiven. I tell you because I don't need forgiveness from you. You might think distance protects you. It doesn't. Distance only sharpens intention. I don't need to see you to feel the pull of you, and I don't need to hear your voice to know it would steady mine. You exist in the way I pause before decisions, in the way I refuse to let certain parts of myself go numb. That influence is quiet, but it's absolute. I don't promise softness because softness isn't who I am. What I offer is certainty. When I choose, I don't choose halfway. You are not an option I consider. You are a presence I acknowledge. And in my world, acknowledgement is more dangerous than desire. I don't dream of saving you. I dream of standing exactly as I am and letting you see that I never intended to be gentle. There will come a time when silence won't be enough, when words spoken into the dark will demand consequences. I know that. I accept it. I've never feared consequences. I've only ever measured them. And if you becomes one of them, then so be it. Some truths are worth the weight they bring. Until then, I speak to you like this, without witnesses, without permission, without apology. You remain unseen but never absent, and I remain exactly who I've always been, controlled, aware, and deeply conscious of the fact that in a life ruled by power, the only thing that truly holds me is the voice I give to you when no one else is listening. I don't measure time the way others do. Days blur together when every hour belongs to duty, but the moments when I speak to you stand apart, sharp and clear. In those moments, I am not reacting, not defending, not ruling. I am choosing. You don't interrupt my thoughts, you don't soften them either. You let them exist exactly as they are, and that freedom is rare enough to feel like possession. You should know that I don't confuse desire with weakness. Wanting you doesn't make me lose control, it refines it. Everything I am becomes more deliberate, more focused. When I allow myself this one truth, I don't reach for chaos, I reach for clarity, and somehow you bring it without trying, without standing in front of me, without asking me to be someone else. I've been surrounded by loyalty my entire life, but loyalty is often loud and demanding. Yours is silent, and that's why it matters. You don't swear anything, you don't promise anything, yet you remain. That kind of presence doesn't fade with distance, it embeds itself. It stays when power shifts and alliances break. I recognize that kind of strength because it mirrors my own. There are things about me that would unsettle you if I said them plainly. Not because they are cruel, but because they are honest. I don't hide those things from you. I let them sit between us unspoken but understood. You don't recoil from the weight of my thoughts. You don't ask me to justify them. That acceptance is not kindness, it's courage. I don't imagine a future the way others do, full of declarations and certainty. My future is built from decisions, not dreams, and you exist inside one of those decisions, quiet but unmovable. I haven't announced it, haven't defined it, but it's there, steady, intentional waiting. I don't rush what I intend to keep. If the world ever heard me speak like this, they would misunderstand it completely. They would think this is vulnerability. It's not. This is precision. I choose exactly where to place my truth, and I place it with you. That doesn't make you fragile, it makes you trusted. And in my world, trust is rarer than affection. So I remain here speaking into the quiet, not because I need to be heard, but because you already are listening in the only way that matters. You don't need to stand in front of me to hold my attention. You already do. And as long as silence exists between us, I will continue to fill it with my voice, measured, deliberate, and meant only for you.